Hello, welcome back. I would like to talk to you today about a very commonly asked question, and it's usually not the rad parents that are asking it, but it's family members and outside people. And that question is, can they just grow out of it? The answer is simply no, they can't. And the reason being is because it's not something that you develop. These things that the rad kids are lacking are things that they should have learned in the very early developmental years, where their brains were actually growing and forming and putting connections together. Let me ask you a question. If NASA called you and asked you to run the next space mission, would you be able to do that? I'm gonna guess no. You haven't had the skills, you haven't had the knowledge or training or learned how to do it. Well, this is just like a rad kid. You can't know something that you haven't been taught. And it doesn't matter how old you get, if you don't know it, you don't know it. You're not gonna learn later in life how to run the space shuttle. A rad kid is not just going to grow into learning empathy and how to act normal, basically. If it's not learned, your brain is like a computer. If it's not downloaded, it's just not there. So we want to think, well, you're just born with empathy and compassion for other human beings. That's just part of being a human. Well, it feels that way because we learned it at such an early age, we can't remember learning it. It's just always been there. That's exactly how it is for the rad child. They didn't learn it. They learned distrust. They learned chaos and confusion. That is what they learned in those early years. So it feels to them like that's always been there. They were born with it. A baby or a toddler, they will often be looking at mom. Wherever they're at in the room, they are constantly looking at mom for reassurance. And they may try to touch something that they either know they're not supposed to, or they're testing their boundaries. And mom has set boundaries, and it's a pretty tight restriction there. Mom's not going to open the door and let the toddler crawl out the door, or the baby crawl out the door. The baby is learning, mom's watching out for me. Mom is watching. If mama says, no, don't touch that, the baby learns, I can't touch that. Mama's in charge, and last time she said no and I did it anyway, I got hurt. After so many times, they'll learn this. And sometimes mama will say, it's okay, with a smile. Mama will say, it's okay to touch that. And the baby learns that it's okay, but they learn to trust that mama's looking out for them and that she has set the boundaries. And if mama's in the room, everything's okay. When that toddler did not have mama in the room, or maybe she was, but she wasn't paying attention or didn't care, that toddler had to learn to set up their own boundaries, and they learned to trust themselves, and they learned not to trust mama. That is in those early years, you don't remember learning it. It's like walking. I don't remember learning how to walk, but I did. And it's so deep in my brain that it just comes natural to me. Well, some of these things in the rad child's brain are just so deep in there, it comes natural to them, and it's not normal. It's not right. Basically, when you see a rad parent parenting in a way that does not look right to you, oftentimes other people will say you're too strict, you have too many rules, you're too rigid, give them some slack, they're older, because as a child gets older, their boundaries grow too. Well, because these rad children did not learn those early boundaries, they did not learn trust, because those are the ages you learn trust. Mama's looking out for me. Mama's not going to let me get hurt. But if they didn't learn that, they have to learn it. They're not going to just know it. they're not going to grow into it. They have to be taught. It has to be downloaded in the computer. How this is being downloaded is with a parenting plan. Our therapists are telling us how to parent these rad children and how to reach them, how to teach them trust, how to teach them reliance on a parent, how to teach them love and empathy. And those things may look strict to you. They may look mean. They may look very rigid and very unnecessary. Those parents are trying to help their child grow and heal. And a lot of times, well-meaning people can stand in the way of that healing by questioning the parents, and worst case, in front of the child. That's the worst thing that could happen. A horse, when it's being broke, has to learn to trust before it allows that saddle and that person to sit on their back. And it's gonna buck, it's gonna fight, it's gonna kick, it's gonna run, it's gonna do whatever it has to do to make sure that that person does not get on their back. It might look mean to other people. Now, they're not hurting that horse. They're teaching it one step at a time, one layer at a time. Trust. I don't know how to break a horse. I don't know how to do it. But if I had somebody telling me this is how you do it, I would follow that advice. What if I had other people standing around me telling me, you are mean? And a lot of times outside people will think, well, if the child is just put in a normal situation, they'll straighten up. They'll see how the other kids are acting and they'll straighten up. That doesn't rewire the miswired brain, and that can cause more problems and more heartache. If parents are restrictive, there is a reason for it. They are protecting the child in the long run. Just like that toddler is not able to have freedom to roam wherever they want, mama has restrictions, and it's for their best interest. It's for their safety. That child will learn to trust that so long as other people don't interfere. So I hope that helps you understand. I hope it helps maybe open your eyes a little bit to why parents are parenting in ways that seem unnatural. And let me just tell you, it does not feel natural to parent that way either. It does not feel natural. I have biological children, and it's taken quite a while for me to learn how to parent a rad child. It's not easy. It does not feel natural. It does not come naturally. We can always have hope, but don't have hope that they're going to just grow out of it, because it's not a matter of maturity. It's a matter of the computer did not download the right material. So anyway, I hope this clears everything up for you, and I hope it helps you understand a little bit better, and I hope you're having a great day, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye now.